In my ear, over my shoulder, I hear this British accent. "Your baby, darling." And I turned around, and it was Sir Richard, and I went, "Ah!" And I started screaming. He said, "Quiet, someone's going to think I'm molesting you."
Welcome to Dance Dish, where the dance ends and the dish begins. I am your host, Scott Hislop. We have a live audience here today.
Yeah, gorgeous, gorgeous.
And today we have a very special episode. It's interesting that every time they have a special episode, I'm the host. I don't know what that's about.
That's what makes it special.
That's exactly right. We have three of the stars of A Chorus Line, the movie. I am super fans of all three of these people. I grew up idolizing you, learning to dance from that movie, and so I'm so excited to introduce these three people. I'm gonna skip over my buddy right now. I'm gonna land on Cameron English, who played Paul San Marco.
Oh, Cameron. Thank you.
Jan Gan Boyd, who played Connie Wong. And last but not least, Michelle Johnston, who played Bibi Benson, Beatrice Ann Benson. So I landed on you for a second because we're going to hear your story, your A Chorus Line journey. So let's start at the audition. Tell us everything.
Ooh, the audition, okay. Yeah. Well, this was the strangest audition I have ever experienced. And I don't know if it was the same for you guys, but what happened was we went to giant cattle call. Like, this is hundreds and hundreds of people, and you get the number, and you're number 255. And it was at, I believe, at the Debbie Reynolds.
Yeah. And you were gorgeous. I mean, a goddess. You walked in a white.
All white.
All white.
Oh, my white unitard? Is that what I wore? Oh,
and
God,
you were gorgeous. And
Who
I was
does
like,
that?
I was like,
with a big red belt.
Yeah, you were so hot. I was like, oh, I'm not getting this
Nothing
job.
says professional.
I looked at her and went, We were in the same group.
I don't remember you.
I know. That's how good I was.
But we got to know each other, and I love you.
I do. I love you too.
And so we went to this audition, and people got cut, as they do, and people got asked to stay. And so you think, okay, I'm moving on. But you move on to the next audition the following week, where you show up, and there's another 200 people.
Wow.
Yeah, so you see like a lot of the same people that were there, and then there's some new people, like, do you remember Shields and Yarnell? Like,
oh my God.
Lorraine Shields was there.
I remember Meg Tilly.
Meg Tilly, Leslie
yeah.
Ann Warren, Madonna was auditioning for
Wow.
Cassie. I know, she got cut. And no, it's crazy. So you'd see all these like random celebrities come in and they would disappear, and it was like whittled down to finally, I think maybe we had like 50 people or something.
And to be fair, to set the scene, I mean, this had to have been, I imagine, the biggest audition of that year.
Oh, Janet Jones, who is also in the movie. She's not here today. She was on the line, played Judy Monroe. She told me, oh, I'm going to this audition tomorrow for this movie, A Chorus Line. And I was like, oh, what is that? You know, I was 17. So I got in, I snuck in, I didn't have an agent or anything.
Wow.
Yeah, so, and there was a certain point when I thought, I think I might have this job, because Sir Richard Attenborough, who was the director, Oscar-winning, Gandhi, A Chorus Line, it tracks, right?
Yeah. He's got a style.
He asked me if I would teach Cynthia Rhodes, if you remember Cynthia Rhodes from Flashdance, the choreography, because she's slow to learn, but is obviously phenomenal.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, you didn't know that story, did you?
No.
So I never told you that.
So wait, Cynthia Rhodes, arguably the most prolific female dancer of the 1980s.
Yeah.
And you're younger than her considerably.
Yeah, I was a child.
And you got to go teach her?
Yeah, she came to my my mom's dance studio in Hermosa Beach. And so we worked together for like 2 or 3 weeks. And yeah,
so she wasn't like prickly about this.
Oh my God, she was the best. Like, I'm so stupid, I don't know what I'm doing.
I love her even more.
And she was brilliant. She didn't get casting because I think she was too young. So I did think I had a good shot, because they asked me to teach her the choreography. And then I got a call to go and meet Sir Richard at the Beverly Hills Hotel in his room.
Okay.
Listen.
And that wasn't weird, because it was the 80s. Oh my God, it was like people like us did that all the time. I was like, well, like, what am I willing to do for this job? So I go to the lobby, and no cell phones at the time. So I go to the house phone, right?
Yeah.
And I'm dialing his room, and it's ringing, and there's no answer. I'm like, I was being punked. And then in my ear, over my shoulder, I hear this British accent, "You'll BB, darling." And I turned around, and it was Sir Richard, and I went, "Ah!" And I started screaming. He said, "Quiet, someone's going to think I'm molesting you." And then he went on to molest. No, I'm kidding. No, that didn't happen. That's a joke. And that's how I got the movie A Chorus Line.
Tell us about the solo. Now, first of all, if you don't know what the solo is, shame on you. Because this solo, I would say, went viral before being viral was a thing. I knew every step of this, a solo at 12 years old.
I feel like I want to just skid up.
Yeah, I think you should. And for those of you that you know, again, shame on you, you've never seen the movie, dancers, if you've never seen this movie, but the solo starts at 5:05. That's the time code. You got that?
Oh my God.
Wow.
Well, and this, you know I'm obsessed with this solo.
So much.
You know, first of all, I gotta say this, and maybe you can cut this out later, but I gotta say this, you'd be hard pressed to find a dancer born in the 1970s to 80s that doesn't idolize this movie. I mean, this was our holy grail of movies.
So amazing.
Interestingly enough, you'd be hard pressed to find a dancer older than you all that likes the movie.
Well,
Yeah.
it was.
They were all like fanatics of the musical, the stage
It
musical.
got hit hard.
I digress.
It got hit hard because it wasn't true to the book, and they chose people that weren't all strictly dancers. A couple of the actors, and people fucking hated it. The theater people hated it in New York. I remember when we were in New York and we went to the.
Yeah, they're very territorial.
Yeah, we did the premiere and
Radio
we
City
got
Music
some
Hall.
booze
Yeah.
from the New York crowd. I know, and I was like, what's happening?
Yeah.
So I got us off track, but the solo.
I like you call it the solo.
It is.
But there is a backbend.
Yeah.
It's really two. That happens at the end. It's this hit,
5:38
Boom,
is the.
And so, I did it because, I could do that. I could move my body back then, 18 years old, right? And I didn't know that when you do a movie, you don't just shoot it and move on. Like you shoot it from this angle and that angle, and then we're gonna do another one. Let's maybe do a wide, and maybe we're gonna try to do it this way. What happened was during rehearsals, my dancing was very, very strong at the time. Perhaps maybe I was the best dancer. I don't know. But
She was.
Jeffrey and Richard had a conversation. They said, listen, we want to have BB now get accepted at the end. In the play, she gets cut.
Okay.
And Judy gets a job. They said, her dancing is too strong. It's not believable that she wouldn't get hired. So they created this, dance solo where Terry Mann, who played Larry, pulls me out and says, watch this is right. And I do this dance solo. I remember with Jeffrey Hornaday, who was the choreographer, amazing choreographer. And we would, work in the studio. We had this little rehearsal drummer and would create this piece, and it ended up with this crazy back bend and snapping back up. And because I had to do it so many times, I blew my back out. And I didn't really know what it was because, you're 18, you're like, oh, all of a sudden, I see part of my spine is over here now. I don't think that's right. But I was like, I can't stand up. So they had to call a surgeon, a back surgeon, who was kept, did you not know this?
No.
He was kept on the side of the stage while we were shooting. And every time, in between takes, I would go back and he would set my back and ice it and inject it.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Like a
a
racehorse.
fucking horse. Like a horse, right?
Yeah.
And got me through it.
Yeah.
So
girl.
that's not the super happy version of how that happened, but it was amazing. And I think I would just do it all again, even with the back surgeries, because it was just a tremendous experience.
Well, I mean, I gotta say, you see that magic on celluloid. It's there. It was
there forever.
Magic.
Yeah. All right, that story deserves a toast. And so I think we should toast to what we dancers do for love. Yeah?
Nice.
And to dance dish.
Dance dish.
Good tequila.
It's good tequila. Dance dish.
Still got it.
Yeah, girl.
Oh.
5, 6, 7, 8.